make use of reasoning to to express ourselves, no, to ano, to relate whatever ideas that we have in mind. In mathematics, we have 4 types of reasoning. You have deductive, inductive, critical thinking, and intuition. When you talk about deductive reasoning, this is from general idea to specific idea. Okay? It works from the general concept to more specific concept. For example, if I say all men are mortal men. Okay? Men. Dili lalaki, but men refers to either male or female, boy or girl, okay, woman or man. So all men are mortal. Okay, mortal means mamatay. Okay, that's your major premise, for instance, or major concept. Then you have a minor premise saying Dante is a man. Okay, Dante is a man. That's your minor premise. Then you will make then you will conclude that therefore Dante is mortal, meaning si Dante mamatay. So that's deductive reasoning. You have already established your general premise, and then you deduced it, you chunk it to a specific idea so that it will be more acceptable or more relevant, more realistic, something like that. On the other hand, inductive reasoning is actually the opposite. Okay, it works the other way around, from specific observations to creating a generalization or creating a theories. So specific, like for example, later na ako example later ha, ako ipakita. Okay, let me just go directly to critical thinking. So critical thinking, this refers to the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. And for you to be a critical thinker, you should be an observant. Dili chismosa, but observant. So you should be observant on what is happening around you. If there is a problem exists, what is this problem all about? What causes this problem? What would be the effect of this problem if this will not be solved? Okay? Analysis, you should be able to analyze. In this way, you should be able to gather, understand, and interpret whatever data that you have collected. Okay? Inference, you make conclusions out from the result of the sample being gathered. Okay? So, like for example, sa mani siyang nato ginatawag na sa statistics, nato ginatawag na descriptive statistics o inferential statistics. So when you say descriptive statistics, you make a conclusion out from the result of the sample, okay, or group where your data is collected. For example, kani siya nga grupo. Ang mga grupo naghahatag kog pre-test. I-collect na ko ang scores, i-analyze na ko ang scores, i-interpret na ko ang scores, and nag-create ko conclusion based sa result na nakuha na ko sa inyong scores. And mag-create ko conclusion nga kamo nga grupo right. Okay? That conclusion is what we call descriptive statistics. However, if say for example, magkuha kog sample of students from first year, second year, third year, fourth year, okay, that will represent the College of Education, and then ipatake na ko silang pre-test, then ikuha na ko ilang score, i-interpret, i-analyze, then nag-create ko conclusion, okay? And in my conclusion, ingon ko nga, the students from the College of Education actually performs good from the pre-test given to them. That is actually inferential stat. Meaning, you make inferences, you created a conclusion out from the result obtained from a sample to describe the whole population. Ano siya inferential. Okay? Murag na ana siya later gihapon sa akong i-prepare nga slide. So, mabot ra ta dara. Okay? You should be able to communicate. So, again, communicating your result, communicating your the obtained results, no? Either online, verbal, non-verbal, like newspapers, no? Or could be in writing or oral presentation, webinars, seminars, or reference journal, are actually the means to communicate your result or disseminate your result. The last one is problem solving. This is the process of gathering, analyzing, and communicating information to identify and troubleshoot solutions. So a critical thinker should be able to identify the problems. What is the problem all about? And identify possible solutions that will possibly solve the problem that exists. And not only one solution, but be able to look for alternative solutions as well. In the event, for example, the solutions used earlier will not work out. Okay? So at least naka-alternative na solution. And that is actually what mathematics is. Daghan kag possible nga solutions. However, naragid na isa ka solution nga para ra gyud ana nga problem, no? It's because, like for example, sa tuwa in real life situation, we might have the same problem, but the way how we perceive the problem, the way how we interpret the problem, or the way how we response to the problem can be in a different way. The same gyapon na siya sa math. Okay? Always remember that not all solutions are true to all. Okay? There is no one solution that is true to all. Meaning, kung kani siya nga formula mo, work lang siya para makompute nimo ang angle measures, para na siya ana. Dili na siya pwede gamiton nimo para mag-compute ka sa force or sa acceleration due to gravity or sa velocity sa moving object. So, dili siya pwede. Okay? The last one is intuition. Intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. This is somewhat like gut feeling. Okay? In taking the board exam, you cannot take the board exam by simply relying on your gut feeling. O bitaw nang naamoy review karon kay para ma-review mo, ma-remember ninyo ato mga previous topics ninyo and masabtan ninyo ang concept behind, no? Kanang gut feeling, that's only applicable if and only if you are left with no choice at all. Anong wala na gid kay option ba? So magbase na lang ka sa imong instinct kung baga, okay? That is also used in mathematics but not true to all. Especially kung problem solving and you really have to present your solutions, so dili ka pwede mag-rely sa imong gut feeling, or else na imong gut feeling nga mabagsak ka, matinuoran gid na siya, no? Isa mat kinahanglan gid ka og solutions. In mathematics, we both use inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. Okay? So, again, sa inductive, you have specific to general. Ang deductive, general to specific. Okay? Always remember that conclusions derived from inductive reasoning may or may not be true. So, Bisaya pa, pwede tinuod, pwede dili. For example, Jenny leaves for school at 7 a.m. Jenny is always on time. Therefore, Jenny assumes that if she leaves for school at 7 a.m., she will be on time. Question, can you say for certain that this is correct? Of course not. No? It might be true that Jenny leaves for school at 7 a.m., given that she leaves for school at 7 a.m., but you have to consider the factors that she might encounter along the way when she's on her way to school. Pwede siya ma-traffic, pwede siya maka-encounter o aksidente, simba ko lang palayo, no? Kung kinsa manggaling na si Jenny, no? Pwede siya nga mo balik siyang agi kay na siya nakalimtan, or pwede siya nga madautan niya ang gisakyan. So there are possible things that might happen along the way. So this statement, okay, which is by the way an example of an inductive reasoning, may be considered true or not. So pwede siya tinuod, pwede siya dili. However, the conclusions that is derived from deductive reasoning are always considered valid and can be relied on. Meaning to say, legit siya. For example, all men are mortal. Muna yung example ganina. This is the major premise. Okay? Bill Gates is a man. Therefore, Bill Gates is mortal. So, you can say this for certain because your statement is based on facts. Every one of us here are actually mortal, no? Unless na immortal din sa inyo ha. So, kana makasana all yun ta. Kaya di ba kung immortal ka, you will not age. Pero boring kay mong life, no? Kasi you will. How many of you have seen that K-drama series nga katabitang only his wife can end his torment? Sa ito nga daman K-drama? Goblin. Oh, guwapo ba kay lalaki ato, no? Diyos ko. Nung gali akong uyab nga sa kuha nga kung iya ko ako ko nang ilugon tong lalaki sa goblin, mugid siguro ang rason nga nung magbulag ni kay ganahan si sa lalaki. O di ba naglibog ko ngisi babae sa amo siya baw ako. Di ba? So, goblin. Nakachargo si Ma'am Jessa. Kana siya, guwapo kay to siya, no? So kung immortal pod ka, lain sad kaayo kay you will see the person you love leave you niya, ikaw naragyapon ka, diba? Murag boring kay ang life. Pero, kinsa sa inyo nga gusto may imong immortal, tasang kamot? Ganahan mo may imong immortal? Uy, si Reyes, ganahan siya may imong immortal. Kung, for example, kung immortal ka, unya wa kay love life, ganahan ka. Imong love life mamatay ra gyapon ganahan ka. Okay ra untag immortal ka, imong love life immortal gyapon. So happily ever after siguro no, pero kung dili na, what's the use of being immortal if you will find yourself alone in the backyard planting tomatoes, di ba? Para paglain. Anyway, immortal ra isabot ma'am ay nasumuway. Sa daw. Anong ganin-check mo? Okay. So, problem solving. As mentioned, the process of finding solutions to difficult or complex issues. So, if you are to solve questions like where, who, what, why, how, which, whom, when, okay, what's the process? So, most likely, you are trying to solve problems. So, how do we solve problems? So, before that, let's try to know first the guy behind this steps no in solving problems. So he's actually George Polyak. He's a Hungarian professor and mathematician, and he made fundamental contributions to combinatorics, number theory, numerical analysis, and probability theory. Okay, so what is Polyak's 4 steps in problem-solving process? Okay, so this includes, the first step is understand. Okay, kanisha, understand the problem. Okay? In understanding the problem, you should be able to identify what is the problem or about. You should be able to identify what were the given. Kasi may magipanghatag na values sa imuha. Okay? Aside from that, you should be able to identify unsay gipangita, what is required. So, what are given and what are required. Because with this information, you will be able to what? Create a plan. Okay? This is actually what we call insight. Okay? Or thinking time. Okay? In the plan, you will be able to think or to make or to choose a strategy that will allow you to solve the problem given the following values identified and what is required. Okay? Unsa ba? Mugamit ba ko probability? Mugamit ba ko standard deviation? Mugamit ba ko o combination, permutation, multiplication ba? Unsa ba? Or guess and check? Okay? You should also try to ask yourselves, was I able to encounter the same problem from the past, or did my teacher discuss the same problem from the past that I can make some basis for me to be able to solve the problem? Okay? Now, after planning, dili pwedeng ako to basta sa drawing. Okay? You should be able to act. Okay? You should be able to solve already. So you have to use that strategy. Act. Imong isolve. Okay? To check whether you will be able to solve the problem. So which strategy is the most suitable? Have you shown all the necessary workings, labeling, solution, units, correct formulas, and so on and so forth? Tanawa ha, which strategy is the most suitable? I mentioned earlier that when you solve problems, you should not only limit yourself to one solution. If you can think of many solutions, then the better. You have to choose which solution, okay, suits best to that particular problem. Because again, as I have mentioned, no one solution is true all. Dili po sabot nga kani siya mo solve kani nga solution, pwede siya ani nga problem, pwede na po siya sa lain nga problem. No, no? Kasi all problems are treated differently. The last one is check. Okay? Kung sa may tawag aning check, you have to look back. You have to review whether you were able to answer the question. Natubag ba nimo ang pangutana? Okay? Is the answer reasonable? Is the answer accurate? Was I able to attach all the correct units? Was I able to cancel out the units not intended for the process? Okay? Or you should ask yourself, if I'm going to work backwards, will I be able to get the same answer? Okay? Or will I be able to obtain the correct result? So these are actually the things that you have to consider. Okay? You understand the problem. You look for possible solutions, okay? Or possible formulas that you can use to solve the problem. Then you solve. You have to act. Okay? Use strategy to solve the problem. And then last is, you have to look back whether you were able to solve the problem or not. Now, in the event, for example, that you failed to answer the problem, then that's actually the time that you have to go back to step 1. Check mo, tama ba ang given nga akong i-identify? Kaya ba, na given, pero wrong quantity na ako siya gi-assign. No? Like for example, imbes nga imuhang given, ang nakabutang kay mass, utang nimo kay height. Diba? So, something that. Okay? So, natay technique na actually yun sa and the last one is verification. Alright. So, for example, this one. Suppose 32 students signed up for classes during an orientation session. If exactly 20 of them signed up for chemistry and exactly 16 of them signed up for English, how many of them signed up for both chemistry and English? Okay? So, kanisha, we have to identify our given. Accordingly, 32 students signed up for classes during our orientation session. So we will let that as n as the total population of the students, 32. Okay? If exactly 20 of them signed up for chemistry, so we will denote C for chemistry, 20. Okay? And then 16 of them signed up for English. So we will have E for English, that is 16. So how many of them signed up for both chemistry and English? So what is required? So we have to look for the number of students signed up for CE, chemistry and English. So muna siya karon ang pangutana. So how are we going to solve this? This topic, by the way, falls under sets. Basic po siya, basic algebra, introductory sa algebra, sets man siya. Now, if you might ask me, ma'am, unsaon ni pagkabalo ma'am nga kana siya nga problem kay Raigo, kana siya nga problem kay statistics, kana siya nga problem kay calculus. Kasi technique buhaton ma'am, kasi technique na ada na. Honestly speaking, and I'm sorry to disappoint you, wala siya technique actually. So you really have to review the basic knowledge that you have learn from your elementary, your high school, your senior high school, or even sa college. Imo gina siyang i-review. Kay, wala gid kay basis nga, basta yung ani gali ang question, algebra ni siya. No. But, of course, identifying the given will give you already an idea nga, kani siya nga topic, kung aday ni siya, sa sets ni siya, kani siya nga topic kay, kung ani siya, trigonometry, kani siya nga topic kay geometry ni siya, okay? So, kani siya nga particular nga topic class, algebra ni siya, sets, under sets, katubitang union, intersection, katong disjoint, joint sets, universal set, kani siya, under ni siya sa set na topic. So, how are we going to solve this? Now, given that you have recalled what are sets all about, diba? Kung may sets, a collection of distinct object, distinct meaning unique. So sa sets, natin ginatawag na universal set. Okay? So the universal set, this is by the way, what we call the Venn Euler diagram. Mas dali ni siya isolve by the way kung magbuhatag diagram. And you can always do this when you solve problems. Okay? So sa Venn Euler diagram nata universal set, our universal set is actually 32, which by the way, we do note this as N. Pwede natin na siya EU, meaning universal set. There are 32 individuals in the session. Okay? Now, it was mentioned that there are 20 chemistry, there were 20 students enrolled in chemistry. Okay? So, pwede ka magbuhat og lingin na and another lingin. Okay? Lainan na itong color para ma-engage siya, ma-identify. Alright. So, this would be for our chemistry. And this would be English. Now, ang atong aim karon is kani. Okay? How many of them signed up for both chemistry and English? This is our C and E. Now, it was mentioned that, okay, how many students who are enrolled to chemistry? There were 20, right? If you add 20 and 16, that will actually give us 36. Ama ka manguha ng 36, ama ng upat ka buok na nabutang. So wala man na siya sa population, kay 32 raman ta. So magbutang ta dani og number of students na nag-enroll sa chem. Take note that this part here is also part of chemistry. Kaning blue. Okay? So kung magbutang ko dani og 20 ka chem, 20 na sila kabuok tanan, no? 20. Butang ta 20 na siya tanan. Okay, 20. And then, magbutang po kag 16 na rin sa okay, take to, ka na ni kuan, circle. Okay? So, English. Butang ta 16 na ni siya tanan. 16, then you have 20. Now, the question is, pila kaha ang nag-fold na? Dali ra na siya mo ito, especially kung naakay diagram. How are you going to do that? You can compute, okay, mugamit ka itong N minus C, okay, this gives the number of English people. So what is your N? You have 32 minus 20 is equal to how many? How much rather? Sorry. This gives us 12, right? So therefore, daragi di ay 12 katao nga na ani nga portion. Kani 12 ra gid na sila actually katao. Okay? 12. Una siya si English. Now, if you want to compute for your chemistry, you will do the same. N minus English, that gives you the number of students enrolled to chemistry. So we'll have 32 minus 16. This gives you how much? 16. Alright?
How many?
Okay, 16.
How much?
So therefore, kung nakay 12 sa English, nakay 16 sa chemistry, so 32 minus 16 minus 12, this gives you how much? Ma'am, 4. Right? 4. Tanga na to na siyang hard. Okay, 4. So therefore, these 4, by the way, represents the number of students that signed up for both chemistry and English. Kay kanimanggong nabilin nga, di ba, 12 man si English, ningon siya 16. Kanamanggong uban ana, naamanggod siya dali sa imo, ginatawag na to nga intersection. Okay? So meaning na intersection, elements that is present for both given sets, which is set C and set E. Okay? So, kani silang upat na mo na sila ang number of students nga nagkuha og chemistry and English. Okay? Did you understand? Sabtan ra?
Yes.
Alright. Okay. Now, how about this one? For example, finding a circle's diameter. So, from the label itself, kung sa maning ka-topic, algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, unsa man ni. So, obviously, this is geometry. Right? So, Jasmine bought a new round backpack. Okay, its area is 370 square centimeters. So automatically pag naanagali tayo ma-encounter na figures, ato gid na siyang identify diretso as our given. Now when you identify a given, ayaw mo pag binaki, no? Sa meaning anang binaki, ambak-ambak ba? Naki-number, uy, na-number dali, ayaw. Read each statement carefully, and once you encountered any figures, okay, identify that automatically as your given. So its area is 370 square centimeters. Okay ra ang yellow sa inyong end? Dili ra sakit sa inyong mata? Okay ra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now, napabaylain nga given, wala na. So you're only given the area equal to 370 square centimeter. Now, what is required? Kung sa gipangita, diameter daw. Diameter. Now, ikaw po, nangutana ka, saan yung paggamit? Saan ganito pag-compute sa diameter? So, nag-search din ka kang Google, no? Kung sa may formula para mag-compute sa diameter sa circle. The diameter of the circle is simply equal to what?
1/2
times R. Diba?
Yeah.
Twice the radius. Daw binangutana na po ka, saan pagkuha sa radius? Diameter divided by 2. May ka, magyapon ni, dili magyapon na ito na siya makuha, dili magyapon na siya mao. Diba? So, dili ni mo siya makuha ang diameter kaya wala kay radius. Walay diameter, walay radius. Diba? Ngayon din ka nga, mo ni lisod ang mat kay isa ra gali atong ipangita gidungaga pug isa diduha naton ipangitaon saon man na siya. Now dili mo dapat mabalaka because sa atong given it was stated here that the area of that backpack is 370 square centimeter. So you will ask yourself, how do we compute for the area of a circle? So the area of the circle can actually be computed using the formula A is equal to what?
2
Pi r square. So, na ako'y area, yes, kabalo ko pila ang value sa pi, which by the way is 3.1416. Okay? And then, pangitaon ako si r. So, all I need to do is to substitute the value for area, which is 370 square centimeter, equal to pi times r square. Okay? Then, divide both sides by pi. Ato sa nang i-balance atong equal sign para mo gid na siya makaingon ta nga equal yun ng both sides of the equation. So, you can cancel this out. Then, you can simply rewrite the equation having the unknown values at the left side of the equation. Then, have 370 square centimeter divided by pi. Okay? Now, what is 370 divided by pi? Let me substitute the value. What is 370 divided by pi? Can you write your answer, please, in the chat box? What is it?
My calculator.
117.77. Oh, wrong money. Will answer. 117.77. Check kulang ani. Okay, you have 117.77 centimeter. Kulang gihapon. Kulang gihapon. Okay, square centimeter. Okay, so 117.77 square centimeter. So what did I tell you earlier? Sayop, dili siya acceptable or invalid ang result kung wala siya correct unit. Now, since we wanted to compute for we take root of both sides. By the way, kung sa'y tawag ninyo ani, sa'y tawag ninyo ani class. What is this? Radical side. Yes, very good. Radical side. Ang moingon og square root ni na GG. Ang square root is actually a process ha. The symbol means radical side. Alright, so what is the square root of 117.77 square centimeters? How much do you have? 10.85 centimeter. Okay, thank you, Bon. So you have 10.85 centimeter. Okay, are we done? Not yet, because this is just the preliminary solution that we need, okay, for us to be able to compute for the diameter. And since we have already the value of r, and by definition, the diameter can be computed using the formula 2 times r, then we can simply multiply the radius, okay, by 2, so that we will be able to obtain the value of the diameter, which is, by the way, equal to how much? What is 10.85 centimeter times 2?
1.7.
That gives us 21.70 centimeter. Alright. Centimeter. Now, done with understanding our we're done with the planning because we mentioned that dapat mo ni ang formula para pero dili magamit formula make use of formula na atay alternative formula, no? Solve natin had a plan. So, ato nag-solve ta, then na-solve na po na to dayon. So, we're able to get 21.70 centimeter. So, how are we going to look back? Now, if we are to compute backwards, will we be able to obtain 370 square centimeter? Yes, no? Obtain na to na siya. Okay, correct man na to ang computation. Then, we can have our some conclusion na dayon. Okay? So, conclusion, therefore, the diameter of Jasmine's bag is 21.70 centimeter. Alright? Na ako'y problema. Okay. Nasabtan ra ang kana siya nga presentation?
Yes,
Okay
ma'am.
ra? Can you follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am Jessa? Okay. Ma'am Jess. Para 2 minutes na lang, ma'am. Napakoy 100 slides, ma'am.
Okay.
Good. Saan man ni?
Please ask them if they want to continue po.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
Guys, do you still want to continue the discussion?
Lang siya, ma'am.
Ma'am, lunch break lang siguro po muna habang hindi nila ma-absorb po.
Ay, kanang napa sila unya hapon, ma'am. Lain na sa
Oo, naapa di ay, naapa di yung other.
Dili ka pwede. Alam, saan man ni ma'am? Wala na man. Taas kaayo, man good.
Lagi, kay taas magig kayo ng Jack. Tulo man gud siya ka joke, guys.
Tulo man good ka subject ang gisugo sa ako, gisugo gyud ba? Kanang galisod ko kanang kuan, kanang compress kay gabi gyud subject 4 lang daan, daghan baya kayo branches sa mathematics subject 4 lang daan. So saan man ni siya, ma'am. Pero akong presentation nga gi-prepare is kuan man siya kanang detailed, pero kaso lang problema ani ang like for example sa problem solving wala gyud siya solutions. So kay ang purpose man gud nako kay kana bitaw sa kamulog discuss unta ko mag-solve mag-present sa solution. So unsay maayo nga buhaton nato ani ma'am Jess, your call.
Lagi no. Wala pud kay recorded nga ni nga video, ma'am, no?
Tungod gid dito ni sa watermelon, ma'am. Wala ra ba, ma'am? Pero ani na lang, ma'am, pwede na siguro na ako i-record ang succeeding slides na lang siguro.
Yes, ma'am. Kay
Ang mga remaining slides na lang, i-record na ko siya. Then, send na lang ko copy sa imo, ha?
yes, ma'am. Kay murag kuan gyud. Okay ra ba sa inyo, guys? Ang the remaining slides